first, I mean, I love my brother Justin.
Of course.
Through and through. He liked to be the, he likes the attention, and he likes to be the leader of, of the show. And when the opportunity for him to be, follow in his father's footsteps and be, the Prime Minister of Canada, because, if you're growing up as a child and you see, your father as the Prime Minister and having access to all of the, the lights, the events, the interactivities,
the trappings, we say.
Trappings, yeah. You kind of want that too. And I think...
Hey gang, what's up? Just Ehren right here, Question Period Canada. How y'all doing? Do you recognize Kyle Kemper there? That's Justin Trudeau's half-brother. They have the same mother. They've got different fathers. Kyle Kemper has a lot to say about Trudeau in this interview with Tucker Carlson. It's very interesting. We're going to take a peek at some of the best clips from that interview. There's a lot goes on in this. Kyle Kemper has a lot to say about Trudeau, and I don't think Trudeau's going to like you hearing many of his thoughts. Let's take a peek, guys. Kyle Kemper coming up right here. Let's check it out.
His thing. He's pretty on point. But I will, add to it that he liked to be the, he likes the attention, and he likes to be the leader of, of the show. And when the opportunity for him to be, follow in his father's footsteps and be, the Prime Minister of Canada, because, if you're growing up as a child and you see, your father as the Prime Minister and having access to all of the, the lights, the events, the interactivities,
the trappings, we say.
Trappings, yeah. You kind of want that too. And I think, I don't know what exactly took place, but, at some point it was like, yeah, it was either Justin was kind of identified as someone who would make a great Prime Minister and was, helped in that journey. And, quite frankly, Justin he's an amazing person, and he was able to connect with so many people.
Yes.
And very lovable. But again, once this COVID and the vaccine thing took place, and his words that he was using, which I don't know were really coming from his heart or whether they're coming from, the teleprompter, what was really being referred.
But it sounds like you saw in him, despite your love for him and your acknowledgement that he's talented, which he obviously is, he became Prime Minister, you saw in him the potential for the abuse of power.
I mean, I don't think he's abusing power. I think power is just in general being abused.
Yep.
Just like, we've seen it, whether it's Justin or it was, Boris Johnson,
right,
or Jacinda Ardern or Joe Biden.
Couldn't agree more. Power tends to be abused by its nature.
And centralized systems over time, the further.
So what do you think, gang? Is Trudeau going to be very happy that Kyle Kemper is revealing all of these insights into the psyche of Trudeau? He goes deeper. Let's continue on with the video. Let's keep going.
Tends to be abused by its nature.
And centralized systems over time, the further centralized they get, the more secretive and corrupt they become as well.
Amen. Now you're speaking my language, Kyle. I totally agree with you. So when the vax thing happened and your brother starts saying things like anyone who hasn't taken it is dirty and you should have a right not to be physically near a dirty, unvaccinated person, you say that was stuff from that not from his heart, but from the teleprompter. Who do you think was putting it on the teleprompter?
Well, or it's like, as Matthias Desmond said, like this mass formation psychosis, when you have like everybody around him saying all this, it's like, what are his inputs? Like with Plato's cave, like if everybody's always around you telling you how the world is, that's going to impact your worldview versus ourselves being open to having much more access to open information and, actually listening to it. Like there's a point I really believe, like there's good intentions, but when counter information is presented, it's like you don't want to hear it, and it threatens the worldview. It's like, just give me the blue pill. I'll just keep taking.
Totally right.
pretty fun to watch, guys. Like, they're getting into it now. Tucker Carlson's good at what he does, and Kyle Kemper likes to talk. Let's go.
Like, no, don't want to know. Because I know, like, as if you recognize that there is, there's shadows and there are nefarious activities, and there's, that some of these warnings might have some credence and demand further investigation and justice, then can be an uncomfortable position to put yourself in. So
what and thank you for mentioning Matthias Desmet, wrote one of the great books of the last 100 years, in my opinion.
Well, and in that point, what he said about you can catalyze a group to really hate another group.
Oh, yes.
This group is being like relentlessly attacked. And, we saw a Toronto Star in Canada write a full front page article saying, let them die. It was just so hostile towards, those of us who said, no, you know what? I'm not interested. I'm not going to do this. You don't have.
And they wished your death on you for that.
And even Joe Biden said it's going to be, what did he say? A winter of death,
yes,
or something ridiculous along those lines. Like the absurd pressure to take this experimental injection. Like I got suspended off Twitter for calling it a fake vaccine because does it stop transmission? Does it prevent infection? No. How you can call it a vaccine? If you were in contact with other people in 14 days, you could face up to 6 months in jail. And I think it was a $500,000 fine they're threatening you with. It's just insane what the levels. And then when challenged on these topics, and this is what the truckers did a lot of, was can we talk about some of these general assumptions and these facts that you're stating behind why we're doing this? They're met with, hostility for asking simple questions.
Well, those questions were racist, as I remember, weren't they?
I would not say that. I think they're fair questions that desire honest interactivity. But this is the challenge about a myth. It's like when everything is based on a myth or based on a lie or false or a deceptive narrative. You can't debate. Instead, you must attack and enrage and censor and, smear.
Yeah.
This was the whole conspiracy theory. No, it's just conspiracy theory. Don't talk about that. I mean, you played a part in that way back in the day as well. Just dismissing.
Oh, I used to dismiss a lot of things as conspiracy theories.
Hey gang, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I would like to invite you to subscribe to the channel, like, share, get notified, all those fun things. We do a live broadcasts of the question periods. We cover every single one. So come and join one of the live shows. It's a great chat room. It's a fun community. Anyways, back to Kyle Kemper. He has a lot to say to Tucker Carlson. They're just getting going. Let's learn more.
So, as Canadians, if you can't change or have a voice through a massive demonstration like that, what methods do you have towards influencing or shifting radical policy?
Yeah. Okay. So that now we're getting to the point, which is if you take away peaceful democratic means of protest and change, you leave people with only ugly options.
Well, or we're now, when you get pushed, it's what are we going to do? And I feel the world is full of amazing innovators. And when you see this, it's okay, protests aren't going to work. What else can we do? Year's 2024. We have unbelievable technologies that we've never had before, like Bitcoin and crypto and blockchain and distributed ledger technology, internet. If you look at the beginning, the Westminster system of governance, the U.S. system of governance was invented in a time when you needed representatives from specific regions to go to Washington to represent that. You didn't have the telegraph. You didn't have internet. You didn't have communications abilities. So you needed a representative to go on behalf of your district, your area, your state, whatever, to go represent the interest. Well, we're still using that system 250 years later, how many years later we are now, but the conditions have changed. We have FaceTime. We can talk directly to somebody on the other side of the planet in high definition. maybe we should start looking at our governance systems
Yes.
and how we can upgrade those. Like Russell Brand is always talking about how do we, decentralize and allow people to have a little bit more input. In Switzerland, it's a form of direct democracy. If you, as a citizen, have an issue with something, you go get 100,000 signatures, and then the entire country will vote on it.
Yes.
And they'll be presented with a booklet that says why you should vote for this referendum, and then the government's official position why you should.
It sounds like Switzerland has a really cool idea. What they're doing with their politics, get 100,000 signatures, get a bill voted on. That's interesting. Back to the show. It's wild.
Didn't vote for this, and everybody gets this booklet. So it's a very informed.
We have multiple elections every year in Switzerland.
I think they have like 3 or 4.
Yes. So I haven't asked you half an hour in about your contact with your brother. So you have not just views that are different from him, but like you've thought them through. You believe them for a reason. You probably have something to add. It sounds like you do. I think you do. Did you call him at any point?
I did in the very beginning. I mean, I wanted to help out. My family's got restaurants. We got like the Clock Tower Brew Pubs in Ottawa. And, I thought, well, what can we do? Can we do some food service? How can we help the community towards in this, this dangerous time? I wasn't really met with too much. Obviously he himself, I think, was also taking in so much different information. And I, wanted to help. I remember one, a good friend reached out with a mushroom solution that was helping the cytokine storm, and sent that his way, and never got any kind of answers to it. Just didn't seem like, he was really looking for too much help. And then like once the vaccine agenda became really clear, that's when I was just like, hold on here. I remember, Mickey Willis put out Plandemic 1 with Judy Mikovich, but then he put out Plandemic 2, Indoctrination, which really detailed, the Event 201 scenario, where they basically role played how a global coronavirus pandemic should be handled by the corporatocracy in conjunction with government and media. And, so they role played the whole thing 2 months before, or 3 months before it all went live. So I was very it's kind of skeptical once I started learning all that information. And I could just see that, Justin, it wasn't, going to be there. And the opportunity for open discourse about this, I don't think he wasn't really interested in my points of view on these topics.
Was he angry at you for expressing yours?
I don't know. I mean, I hopefully in his heart of heart, he's proud of being open and honest and speaking your truth.
Yes.
I think this is critical. I think, this is the path forward. And it's also big admitting, when you're wrong.
That's the acid test right there. Can you admit when you were wrong?
Can you admit when you're wrong?
That's right.
It's like, and, apologizing, but also it's like with our children. It's like, they'll say, I'm sorry, but they don't necessarily know why they're sorry sometimes. Like if they hit, and I'm sorry for hitting you. That's what, or for doing this, but explaining to really understand what the problem was. And there's this kind of, this healing modality that needs to be embraced going forward. Like, are you familiar with the Hawaiian healing phrase, Ho'oponopono?
No.
Oh, it's beautiful. So it's a Hawaiian healing prayer that's comprised of 4 lines. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm grateful or thankful, and I love you. And you can say these 4 lines to yourself first, and apologize to yourself for those things that you did. Find place to forgive yourself for the things that you did. Be grateful and thankful to yourself, and also love yourself, really critical. But then you can also use this with other people. So I say this to my mother, because I know, what I was doing was hurting, was causing energy. So, and I say this to Justin too, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for any harm that I've caused, or if my words have negatively impacted your life. Please forgive me. I'm just trying to speak my truth and do what I think is right. Know that I love you, and I know that I'm thankful and grateful for everything, all the lessons, all the learnings, all the interactions, and that I love you. like in my heart of hearts. And this Ho'oponopono message is something that I think we can take out there, and you can really heal a lot. And we live in a very divided civilization right now, more than just a country. Like in America, it's very divided. And this is one of Bobby's messages. Like, how do we heal the divide? How do we bring people together? Because we've been so polarized, and it's easy to, and I feel like it's by design. It's divide and conquer.
Of
You get
course.
people just like, how many different identity buckets can you get them in? And then when they're all fighting each other, it's like, it's easy to control.
So gang, that's going to wrap up this video. I'm Ehren. This is Question Period Canada. That was Kyle Kemper. Seems like a pretty cool guy. Much cooler than Trudeau. Anyhow, you guys know where we stand on that. We need an election. That's what Canadians want, 70%. What is Jagmeet doing? What is up with the NDP Liberal coalition? We just need an election, guys. Learning all about Canadian federal politics, come and join one of the live broadcasts. We cover every question period daily. Come check it out. It's a fun chat room, great community. I'm Ehren, Question Period Canada. Like, subscribe, get notified, share, all those fun things. And check out one of the other videos that are floating around here. That's it. Till the next video, thank you for watching this one. Catch you next time.